On the show, India's ever-increasing bonhomie on the global stage. An ASEAN survey suggests India is being prioritized over Australia, United Kingdom and South Korea. Another jolt for the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi. Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia is sent to 5-day CBI custody by a Delhi court. Prime Minister Modi releases the 13th installment of over 8 crore rupees for beneficiaries under the PM Kisan Yojana at Belagavi in Karnataka. Another validation for the Agnipath scheme. Upholding this scheme, the Delhi High Court says the scheme is in national interest. And a look at India's lethal aircraft fleet in the United Kingdom. The Indian contingent is taking part in the Cobra Warrior air combat games. This and more. Top Angle starts right here, right now. Well, now India is increasingly being seen as a potential ally, more so than Australia, the United Kingdom and South Korea. This is what a new survey among countries belonging to the ASEAN grouping has shown. The findings are significant, particularly when viewed amid global uncertainty stemming from US-China rivalry and the Russia's war in Ukraine. Now, the survey conducted by the ISEAS Yusof Ishaq Institute in Singapore says that the growing number of countries from ASEAN say they would choose India as a strategic partner after the EU and Japan. These findings effectively mark India's rising status in matters of global strategy and partnership within the ASEAN bloc. Now, according to the survey, India has effectively doubled its approval ratings amongst Southeast Asian nations from 5.1% in the year 2022 to 11.3% in the year 2023. So, despite New Delhi's strategic autonomy and non-alignment towards most Euro or US-centric issues, ASEAN countries view India as a favorable partner on both economic as well as strategic fronts. Now let's understand why exactly Southeast Asian nations prefer India over Australia, Britain or South Korea. Number one, India's neutrality in the Russia's war against Ukraine. Yet many countries, especially in the West, see it as problematic. But India's independent position was best expressed last year when Prime Minister Modi told Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the SCO summit in Uzbekistan that this is not, quote-unquote, an era of war. Number two, India's prominent role in global diplomacy, from stemming criticism against the Modi government from the West to making it clear that India will continue to purchase Russian oil. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has been quite vocal about India's stance on the global stage. Number three, India's strong economic performance and potential. The World Bank agrees. According to the World Bank, India is expected to be the fastest growing economy of the 7 largest emerging markets and developing economies. Another factor working in New Delhi's favor is its deepening ties with Washington thanks to its greater involvement in the Quad. Through its leading role in the Quad, India has proved to be a counterweight to Chinese aggression in the Indo-Pacific and the South Pacific. And significantly, India's refusal to submit to China's territorial aggression in eastern Ladakh and more recently in Arunachal Pradesh's Tawang has also paid dividends in raising its standing among the Southeast Asian nations. Now, with the Western-led order on one end and the rising Chinese dominance on the other, New Delhi walks its own path. If this survey is anything to go by, India's potential as an economic powerhouse, as a responsible international stakeholder, and an advocate for global peace and security is not lost on anyone. Moving on. The CBI has got 5-day remand of Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. He was arrested on Sunday in the Delhi liquor excise policy case. The Rouse Avenue Court in Delhi has sent him to CBI custody till the 4th of March. Now, as Sisodia went in for questioning on Sunday, protests had already broken out. Several Aam Aadmi Party workers were detained and a series of press conferences were organized by Aam Aadmi Party after the arrest. As the CBI was producing Sisodia in the court on Monday, Section 144 was imposed right outside Aam Aadmi Party headquarters and many Aam Aadmi Party leaders, including the likes of Sanjay Singh and Gopal Rai, were detained. Meanwhile, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal claimed most of the CBI officers were against Sisodia's arrest. It was done under political pressure and that there is no evidence against him. However, the CBI in its statement said that Sisodia was arrested as he was not cooperating with the investigation despite being confronted with evidences. The CBI had been framing several charges against Manish Sisodia since the alleged irregularities in Delhi excise policy came into the picture last year. Let's take a look. The CBI says Sisodia allowed a waiver of crores to the liquor cartel. These waivers was granted on the tendered license fee under the pandemic excuse. The Aam Aadmi Party allegedly used that money to contest the Punjab Assembly polls. Sisodia directed Excise Department to refund amount to few L1 licensees, and the formula to calculate the rates of foreign liquors was also allegedly revised. Now, while the Aam Aadmi Party and the opposition parties like the BRS, RJD, SP are alleging political vendetta, the Bharatiya Janata Party doubled down on the Aam Aadmi Party, saying it has been one of the most corrupt and dishonest governments in Delhi. The BJP has tweeted demanding from Arvind Kejriwal to sack both Manish Sisodia and Satyendra Jain from the Delhi cabinet. Now, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been claiming that Sisodia's arrest was imminent. Now, with the arrest, Kejriwal will have a busy schedule ahead to fill in the vacant portfolios that Sisodia had and also present the Delhi budget that is due in March. Moving on. The wait was finally over for crores of farmers in India. Under the PM Kisan Yojana, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday released the 13th installment amount for the beneficiary farmers at Belagavi in Karnataka. The 11th and 12th installments were paid last year in May and October respectively. Now, under the 13th installment, more than 16,800 crore rupees is being released to over 8 crore beneficiary farmers. 6,000 rupees is annually released directly into each of the eligible landholder farmers' bank accounts. The income support scheme amount is given in 3 equal installments of 2,000 rupees and sent directly to the bank account of the beneficiaries. As of now, over 2.2 lakh crore rupees has been disbursed to more than 11 crore landholder farmer families across the country. Of this, 1.75 lakh crore rupees was given to the farmers in several installments during the COVID-19 period. Now, the PM Kisan scheme was introduced in February 2019, but it was considered effective from December 2018. Now, let's tell you who qualifies for this particular scheme. Any landholding farmer is eligible to get benefits under the PM Kisan scheme, though there are certain exclusion criteria. Government claims the scheme has helped in rural economic growth, eased farmers' credit constraints, and boosted agricultural investments. With it, the ability of farmers to take risks has also increased. Now, this scheme is part of several schemes that the NDA government has launched. With the Lok Sabha elections slated for 2024 and several states going to polls this year, the scheme with direct cash transfers are sure to connect with the masses at a much larger scale. Next up, Mallikarjun Kharge is Congress president for namesake. Everyone knows who holds the remote control. This is what Prime Minister Modi had to say when he was in Belagavi today. He launched several development initiatives in Karnataka's Belagavi. Let's quickly listen in to what the Prime Minister had to say.
मैं देखकर बहुत दुखी हो गया जब कांग्रेस का अभी अधिवेशन चल रहा था छत्तीसगढ़ में, धूप थी, जो भी सब खड़े थे उन सबको धूप लगना बहुत स्वाभाविक था, लेकिन धूप में वो छतरी का सौभाग्य कांग्रेस के सबसे बड़ी आयु वाले, सबसे सीनियर कांग्रेस के प्रमुख खरगे जी के नसीब नहीं हुआ। बगल में किसी और के लिए छाता लगा गया था। ये बताता है, कहने को तो खड़गे जी कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष हैं, लेकिन कांग्रेस में जिस तरह उनके साथ बर्ताव होता है, वो देखकर पूरी दुनिया देख भी रही है और समझ भी रही है कि रिमोट कंट्रोल किसके हाथ में है।
Well, now polling in the northeastern states of Meghalaya and Nagaland concluded on Monday amid tight security arrangements. Nagaland recorded a voter turnout of over 82.42%, while Meghalaya recorded around 74.32% voter turnout till the report last came in. In Meghalaya, polling was held across 59 assembly constituencies at nearly 3,500 polling stations. Over 21 lakh voters exercised their franchise. Out of them, about 81,000 were first-time voters. Now, the Bharatiya Janata Party is looking to retain power in the two northeastern states. Over the last few years, the BJP has gradually replaced the Congress as the main national party in the northeast. A total of 183 candidates were in the fray in Nagaland, including 20 from the Bharatiya Janata Party, 1 from CPI, and 23 candidates from the Congress Party. Over 13 lakh voters to decide the fate of the candidates contesting on these 59 seats in the state. The results for Nagaland, Meghalaya and Tripura will be declared on the 2nd of March. Moving on. It's a setback for those who had opposed the Agnipath scheme that was launched last year by the central government. The Delhi High Court has upheld the constitutional validity of Agnipath scheme for recruitment of Agniveers for the armed forces. The court dismissed a bunch of petitions saying that the scheme is launched in national interest and that there is no reason for the court to interfere with the scheme. The court also dismissed the petitions that had challenged the halt of other recruitment processes. Centre informed the court that other recruitment processes were put on hold only after Agnipath scheme came into the picture in June 2021. Remember, the scheme was unveiled on the 14th of June last year, and several parts of the country witnessed violent protests, with agitators demanding a rollback of the scheme. Concerns were raised over post-service benefits and job guarantee to only 25% of the recruits. However, the centre defended the scheme, calling it a reform and a door towards a young futuristic force. With High Court's verdict now coming in, there are thin chances of previous recruitment processes to resume. And maybe Agnipath will be the only option available for army aspirants to realize their dreams. Take a look at this. India has sent 5 Mirage 2000 fighter jets, 2 C-17 Globemaster III strategic airlift planes, and 1 IL-78 mid-air refueling aircraft, along with 145 personnel to the United Kingdom for the Cobra Warrior Air Combat War Games. The international exercise, which will take place from March 6th till the 24th of March, will also involve air forces from the United States, Finland, Sweden, South Africa and Singapore, in addition to the Royal Air Force and the Indian Air Force. The Indian Armed Forces strive to take part in a variety of land, air and sea combat exercises each year to strengthen interoperability and defense diplomacy with allied countries. The Mirage 2000 fighter aircraft was inducted in the mid-1980s from France and has since been upgraded through a 17,547 crore rupee project, which included 490 Mica missile systems for another additional 6,600 crore rupees. Notably, it was the Mirage 2000 that was used to launch Israeli Spice 2000 bombs at the Jaish-e-Mohammed terror facility in Balakot in Pakistan on the 26th of February in the year 2019. This exemplifies the goal to participate in diverse fighter aircraft engagements and learn from the best practices of various air forces. Well, on that note, it's the end of this edition of Top Angle. Do check out incisive news analysis and cutting-edge documentaries streaming only on News 9+. Thanks for watching.